6, If two of you shall agree, by Dr. T.L. Osborn. If two of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father, which is in heaven. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. It is proverbial that there is strength in unity. 2 are better than 1. For if they fall, the one will lift up the other. But woe to the one that is alone when he or she falls, for that one has no other to help him or her up. Again, if 2 lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And one standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but 2 can stand back to back and conquer. 3 is even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. 4:9-12. From Deuteronomy 32, verse 30, and Joshua 23:10, we conclude that one can chase 1,000, but 2 shall be able to put 10,000 to flight. Jesus had a reason for doing so when he appointed 70 other disciples and sent them 2 by 2 before his face into every city and place. Agreeing in faith, God must have had the same reason in mind when he said, "Separate me, Barnabas and Saul, for the work for which I have called them." We notice that it was Peter and John who were seen by the lame man, and through the strength of their united faith, the miracle was done in his body. We are mentioning these things to show you that where any 2 of you shall agree on earth as touching anything that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. We have proven this to be true in many cases where the victims of disease were unable to grasp faith for themselves. In such cases, when 2 shall agree, not only in words but in spirit, the sick recover. This is not necessary when one person, who is mentally responsible, can hear the word of God and exercise his or her personal faith. This is always the best. Faith comes by hearing the word of God. Individual faith possible. Give heed to the word and have your own faith. Tens of thousands of people have testified of receiving healing during our crusades by hearing and believing the word of God as we preached or taught it to the multitudes. A man who had been engrossed in hearing the message as we preached arose to find his rupture gone. A lady discovered her arthritis and varicose veins were healed. A blind woman received her sight. Innumerable others have been healed of every kind of disease while hearing and believing the word of God. Anytime you hear the word of God and give heed to it, you will have your own faith, the faith that will set you free. That is always better than depending on the faith of someone else. However, there are cases in which the person is unable to reason or is too sick to grasp these truths or listen to the word of God. In such cases, 2 believers can agree in prayer, and the promise is, "It shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven." Thank God for his promise and for his interest in our physical health as well as in our spiritual health. John coupled these things in his letter to his friend Gaius, saying, "I wish above all things that you may prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers." And John, who leaned on Jesus' bosom, knew what the will of God was. Christians do not doubt that God wills to save and regenerate every unsaved person, regardless of how hopeless the case may be. It is also God's will to heal every sick person, regardless of how incurable, if the sufferer will look to him and believe his word. God's will is to heal all. How can anyone doubt God's healing love and compassion for his children when he has given us so many promises for our healing? You have a scriptural right to be healthy and strong. Well, you may ask, how then can one ever die? According to the Bible, it is very simple. Listen to God's prescription for the death of his child. You take away their breath, they die, and return to the dust. That does not mean that you must die with a cancer, does it? Or any other form of disease or sickness. The child of God is redeemed from the curse of the law, a part of which is disease. The Bible ideal for the death of a child of God is, "You shall come to your grave in a full age, like as a shock of corn comes in its season." That was how Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, and many others died.